gosh, look at the crowd.
Come this way.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
This is LMD TV, and I'm Fazmina Imamuddin. Joining with us tonight is Pradeep Amirthanayagam. Hello, Pradeep. I warmly welcome you to the show.
Nice to see you this evening.
We have seen a volatile year, a lot of changes locally running alongside the global upheaval caused by economic fallout, a war, the COVID-19 pandemic, and changes in leadership and agendas. What must Sri Lanka do to face the challenges ahead to ensure that it survives and flourishes?
We are a resilient nation. Sri Lanka has gone through many issues in the past. 1973, 1977, 1983, 2001, and now I believe this is the biggest issue that we have had. But whilst we need to get back to the basics, get things focused, and let the central bank do what they have to do in terms of monetary policy and setting the roadmap, we need also to have some out-of-the-box thinking to get out of this situation. Let's face it, the whole world is going through a similar crisis. You look at the Western world, you switch on your TVs and you see petrol queues in France. You see what's happening in the United Kingdom. And fortunately, we have a visionary leader at the helm at this point of time. A man who knows what it takes to take us out of this mire. And we are blessed to have a leader of his caliber running the country at this time. So he has done it before. He did it in 2001 when we were in a fairly dismal state. And I believe he will set the tone and he's already set the tone and move us out of this mire. That's my belief.
As an advertising and media veteran, what advice could you give to positioning Sri Lanka as destination of choice to foreign direct investors? And what would you consider the island's strongest selling points?
Well, I'll say location, location, and location. It's our strongest point. We are so strategically poised in a position. So that is one. The other one is our workforce, our level of education, and the skill sets that our workforce has. So we will be able to get investment into the country. If we succeed, those investments will be robust because of the infrastructure that we have and also the skilled labor. But we need to do one thing. We need to make it easy for somebody to come across and invest in this country. We have to remove all the barriers. We have to create a one-stop shop. We have to make it accessible, easy to come over and transact business in a proper manner without bringing restrictions. You have to go from one office to another office to get things done. You should be able to come to one place and be able to sign a deal, work it out, and progress so that there is no wastage of time, because investors get tired of having to wait and having long intervals in getting approvals done. So we need to streamline that. And if we do, we have the right mindset here to make a success out of it.
It has been reported that People's Leasing recorded its highest ever profit after tax of 4.66 billion rupees in the financial year 2022. What lessons for success could you share from this, especially at a time when the economy is struggling and public debt threatens to swamp us?
Yes, in the perspective of us being an SOE, I believe that it's a phenomenal achievement. It's unparalleled performance, really, because our stakeholders is partly People's Bank and therefore the state, and the concerns of the shareholders are paramount. So we have a public responsibility where the public is concerned, and we've been able to, in moratoriums alone, give as much as 90 billion to our clients, and we have also default interest amounting to 1.3 billion has been waived off. This is part of our program because we feel socially responsible to give our customers and to be with them and to strengthen them in this period. Also, we launched a program called Hita Mituru because People's Leasing is mainly in the transportation sector, and the transportation sector went through a lot of upheaval due to the COVID restrictions, the lockdowns and things like that, and it impacted our customers greatly. So we have sort of brought about a mechanism to give them a fresh start, an impetus to build their businesses and get them rolling once again. So in that respect, it has been a fantastic performance despite all these things that we have done to achieve this landmark figure that you spoke about.
What are your expectations of the 2023 budget, and how have measures set out in the interim budget affected the leasing business sector?
Yeah, as you know, 2020, the country took a new turn where tax reforms and tax policy was concerned. And that has impacted the leasing industry, benefited the leasing industry in the last 2 years. But when we foresee now, we've already noticed the taxes will come back and it'll impact our profit line. But the leasing industry had a good time pre-2020 as well, though the taxes were high. So the key thing here is liquidity. Liquidity will be more important than profitability. So as long as we remain liquid, we should make every endeavor to be liquid, and we will then be able to go through this tough period, because leasing per se will take a back seat in my view because of the import restrictions on vehicles and things like that. And also the interest rates will be high. And even if someone genuinely wants to take a lease, payback will be extremely difficult. So leasing companies will have to think out of the box. They'll have to come up with new products, new devices to be able to reach out to SMEs, to individuals, to the transport sector in order to survive.
In the big picture context, how do you perceive Sri Lanka's trajectory regarding lifting itself out of its present predicament? What other actions should the government be taking or considering?
Yeah, we need to focus on our exports and also the non-traditional exports. We have reached saturation points with tea, rubber and coconut. So we need to develop these non-traditional sectors because there's a lot of scope, and also these homegrown exports. I mean, people are getting into new areas of um, products and services. And so they need to be able to be given a stimulus to get it across and find foreign markets for them. So exports is key. The second one is tourism. Tourism is huge, and we need to market our country. And I believe that we have, the right resources here. Again, we are a very hospitable people, and we have excellent product. And if we do it right, get the road shows going, market tourism extensively overseas, we will be able to meet our challenges.
You may be aware that LMD has launched a campaign titled Refresh Sri Lanka to encourage greater awareness and engagement with a mindset change, as we desperately need a more civic-minded society. Drawing on your media expertise and your considerable experience in the field, what advice would you give on positioning such a campaign and obtaining engagement?
It's a brilliant idea. Engagement is the key, because we need to engage with different groups. We need to engage with the youth. They have a mind of their own, but they are very, very focused on certain areas, be it the environment, be it corruption, be it, it all emerged during these Aragalia times. And the youth led, they led the way. So you need to virtually get under their skin, do focus groups, get under their skin, get valuable insights from them. Because if you get the insights from them, you can easily come up with a program to reach out and to overcome most of the challenges that this country is facing. So I congratulate LMD for having embarked on such a mission. I think the time is very opportune now in order to do this exercise. And I would really do this insight program and get under their skin, find out what they want to do, and then move forward.
What type of messaging on civic mindedness would best appeal to the younger generation, as communication methods are so fragmented now with the diversity of channels of information? In your opinion, what would be the most effective channels to reach the youth and encourage a mindset reboot or change?
Youth transact whatever they do on the go. They are mobile and they are very digital savvy. So unlike our generation, they don't sit in front of television for a long time. Maybe they'll watch a movie, but most of their transactions, most of their engagement is done digitally, whether it is a banking transaction or whatever it may be. They use the mobile to its maximum. So digital is the medium to reach them, if you ask me. And you've seen, how are people able to get crowds into Colombo for various rallies and movements? It was all done digitally. Very little came from the main media. So it shows that you can reach them digitally, and they are totally tuned in, as it were, to their mobiles, and you reach them that way.
What industry or experience-related insights could you share to projecting Sri Lanka and increasing its visibility as a desirable destination to potential tourists? Recent reports said that Sri Lanka's tourist arrivals had fallen by 21% in September 2022 in comparison to August, which is the lowest inflow recorded for the year so far.
I believe September is not a good benchmark because people are getting ready for the winter season. So we should target November and December and January, mainly December and January, as I believe the tourists will come. But the message that we have to send across now is that every dollar will go a long way in Sri Lanka. Your purchasing power of a dollar spent in Sri Lanka will be very meaningful for you and also for the country at this point of time, because Sri Lanka can emerge re-emerge and get out of this current state if there are tourists. And we should market this country. We should, because as I told you earlier, our product is excellent. We have some beautiful resorts and excellent culinary skills and a good bunch of people in the tourism industry. So if it is projected right, the tourists will come in. So I don't believe that just that the statistical figures of last month could be just a one-off, because people are, this is not the month that usually generates much tourism.
How has advertising been impacted by the economic changes brought about not only by the COVID-19 pandemic, but also the global and local socio-economic upheaval? And what insights could you share with regarding to coping with these and facing challenges and ensuring a measure of success?
Unfortunately, the first area of cutback is advertising. I won't advocate that, not because I'm an advertising professional, but because when you're out of sight and when you're not heard, you will suffer in the long term. Even in a depressed market, you need to be visible. If you're visible, you go into a supermarket, you don't see less crowds there. You try parking in a supermarket. Can you park easily? No, you can't. So this is an example that there is consumerism. People are going and people are buying. They have to live. But they will buy things and they will use things that are visible, that are up there. So I don't believe in this concept of having to cut advertising costs. So people have cut advertising costs on mainstream media. They move to digital media because they find it more cost effective. But I can tell you internationally, the proportion that has been spent on mainline media and versus digital media has shifted in the last few years. The bigger players are going back into the mainline media. If you see Super Bowl, the demand for spots are very high, and how much you pay for a mid-break spot is getting higher every year. That's because there is a demand, and that's because people watch, especially sporting events. Now, recently Sri Lanka won the Asia Cup, and there was great viewership, and clients advertised on media, and those who advertised were seen, were noticed, because sports advertising, you cut through a lot of barriers. You get the young, the old, the kids, all watching television. So you'll see that again happening when the World Cup starts. So my simple message is to any marketer of a product or service is, do not cut back on advertising. You're only going to thwart your future progress of the product if you do so.
Any closing thoughts you would like to share with our audience?
Well, we are going to go through a very painful period, and I like to quote John Major, and he said, if it is not hurting us, the policy is not working. So we will be hurt. We will have to cut back on a lot of things. We will have to take stock of our personal life, our officers, our companies. But I believe if we get it right, we will rise like the phoenix, and Sri Lanka will be great again.
Thank you for taking the time to discuss and share your insights on Sri Lanka's path to recovery from the current crisis.
Thank you for having me over, and it was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. That's all from us. Good night.
Good night.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching and stay safe.